Richard Marcus is an ex-croupier who became the ultimate casino cheat. Over the past 3 decades, he has scammed millions of dollars, and he's never been caught.
I did not aspire to become a casino cheat. I always aspired to win, and by losing, my life kind of followed a predetermined course, and in that wake, everything just landed in my lap.
Richard's professional scamming career started with a one-off inside job that cheated more than $80,000 from his employers.
It was so thoroughly prepared and researched and set up that the whole scam was perfect down to a T.
The move was so disarming that it caught the gaming industry by surprise, and Richard had the guts of a cat burglar, and so he also caught the industry by surprise.
Richard Marcus is a born hustler.
When I was 6, we would stand on the street corner, and we would bet on what kind of car would come next. If it was like a Mercedes, that paid 3 to 1, and if it was a Volkswagen, it paid like even money. So, anything I could find to gamble on, we gambled on. When the first acorn would fall off the tree that year, anything.
His first taste of the big time came in 1976, just 10 days before his 21st birthday. Having made 20 grand in a small-time con on the horses, he headed for the bright lights of Las Vegas.
It was my dream just to go out and, make a fortune, just one big score.
A confident gambler, Richard planned to beat the casinos at their own game. And at first he couldn't lose. The money came flooding in.
I turned that $20,000 into $30,000 and $50,000, and now they got me in a suite. They're paying for my room. I'm in a suite that costs $2,000 a night if you're paying for it. And they're giving me, big meals, champagne, anything I wanted. They're treating me like a high roller.
But a week after becoming 21, Richard's luck ran out.
On the night of my 21st birthday, one bad streak and wiped out. I lost every penny. I didn't have $1 left. And here I am now standing in a $2,000 a night suite, and I have no money.
With no way to pay his bills, Richard was out on his ear, and the casinos didn't want to know.
Now I have no place to sleep, and no money for food, nothing. And I couldn't call anybody, my parents weren't going to send me any money or anything like that. So I ended up sleeping with the bums underneath the overpass. After like 3 weeks of that, I began getting sick of it, and I said to myself, hey Richard, you got to do something. You got to get a job or something. And the only thing I knew about in my whole life was gambling.
So Richard got a job as a croupier. As well as a much-needed job, the casino was providing its newest employee with the perfect introduction to a life of scamming.
When you deal in a casino, especially back then, before they had all the great technology, people always approached me with one scam or another.
But one scammer stood out from all the others. The casinos thought Joe Klassen was a high roller, but Joe revealed to Richard that he was really a professional cheat. Joe had been scamming the casinos for over 20 years and was convinced that Richard had what it took to turn the tables on his employers.
He told me that he'd been watching me for about a week because he was looking to recruit a dealer to go into a cheating operation with him.
Having already had his brief taste of the high life, Richard wanted in. But to become one of Joe's elite team of cheats, he needed to prove himself. And to do that, Richard had to come up with a scam.
I thought about it, and I just thought and thought and thought, because I wanted to impress this guy, and it hit me what to do. I saw that in the shuffling procedure, there was a way to fix up 6 winning hands for the player against the banker.
His plan was simple. Before the end of his shift, he would shuffle the cards to set up a fresh deck as usual. But instead of just shuffling them, he would actually arrange them into an agreed order.
So what I did is right before the end of my shift, I shuffle the cards and I fix up 6 hands in a row for the player to win. So then, right at the moment after I leave, They play a few hands, blackjack and craps, and then they all converge. They fill up all 7 spots.
Joe's signal to us for us to start going over to the table was a brief move on the chin, and then we were within the next 5 minutes we were all supposed to just casually make our way over to the table.
Once Joe's team had occupied every position on the table, they started to bet big on the winning hands that Richard's replacement was unwittingly dealing to them.
At that point, I had an unbelievable adrenaline surge. My role was I was supposed to be, kind of like a very sophisticated and elegant woman sitting at the table and a high roller.
Because the move had to be done under the watchful eye of the security cameras, it required incredible sleight of hand to go undetected.
I went over to the table, sat down. They immediately started, emptying the shoe. And, of course, all my other, partners in crime, so to speak, we were all sitting there and we put down our, $2,000 bets and proceeded to play 6 hands, of course, obviously winning each one of those.
So, they won 6 hands in a row at 2,007 spots, so that came out to a nice $84,000 profit. Now, back in the 70s in a downtown casino, that's a humongous score.
We were like, it's raining, man. It was raining $100 bills, and we were freaking out, and we're breaking out the Cristal, or $100 bills up in the air, and my boyfriend and I were like, it was crazy.
The move was Richard's key to the secret world of scamming.
That was it. We did that, and after Joe was impressed, now he was ready to teach me his stuff. At that point, I went through a transformation. I became a casino cheater. I felt great because, someone showed me how to actually make money in these casinos.
Richard Marcus's first ever scam brought in a cool $84,000, almost £50,000. But because the risk of getting caught was so high, his slick shuffle scam was never repeated. But as we'll see later, Richard has done nothing but scam the casinos for the last 20 years. Still to come after the break, the blackjack scammer, whose cheating move drove him to extremes.
We became very good at being obnoxious. Basically, we made jerks of ourselves until we got everybody else off the table.
And the card sharks who broke the bank in South Korea.
To take that much money out of one casino is just unheard of. It would be like taking $10 million out of a casino today.